A big part of helping people understand and appreciate Wisconsin's dairy business is bringing them right to the source. Recently, a dairy tour was held in Wisconsin to help educate food service distributors, companies who sell cheese to restaurants, about our state's leadership in the industry.
Putting programs like this together are extremely valuable in making more awareness of what goes on in Wisconsin and where the cheese comes from and the whole process of bringing it to market.
The tour attendees learned more about Wisconsin specialty cheeses through talking, tasting, and touring.
When you're looking at a particular category, you want to go where the leaders are in that category. And I mean, based on the heritage of Wisconsin cheese, this is where you want to be.
The food service distributors play a very important role in connecting cheesemakers and customers. They communicate directly with restaurant owners and other food buyers about their products so that they can, in turn, educate consumers.
If you're going to talk about an industry and really believe in it, you have to see it firsthand. So it's very important to get with these producers. You see the pride of ownership, you can see the technology.
That's this week's Wisconsin Dairy News. A new report released by the Food and Drug Administration calls for restaurants to provide more lower-calorie, nutrient-rich food and beverage choices on their menus. The report specifically calls for more low-fat and fat-free milk beverages, since many American diets are lacking important nutrients found in dairy products.
Offering milk at restaurants as an alternative to soda is a great thing for restaurants to do because soda is basically empty calories, whereas by offering milk, you can provide lots of essential nutrients, especially the calcium that they need in their diets.
The FDA report also recommends the nutrient-rich beverage options be made readily available, especially with children's meals. Over the last few years, many fast food restaurants have switched from the traditional milk carton to a new plastic container, which has proven successful with kids and parents.
We've just recently changed to the plastic container, which has made it easier for our guests. It's important to have milk as an option because in many ways it's what the guest really wants. And so it gives the parents especially a choice for their kids.
The new FDA report is especially timely because more families are eating out and relying on restaurants for their meals. So it's important to get those nutrient-dense foods in outside of the home.
Most quick-service restaurants are now serving low-fat white and chocolate milk, as well as other flavors. That's this week's Wisconsin Dairy News. Cold Pack cheese is a Wisconsin original developed by Wisconsin taverns in the early 1900s as a snack food for their customers. This spreadable cheese is produced by blending real Wisconsin cheese and flavorings without the aid of heat, which sets it apart from processed cheese.
It's mixed with butter and then herbs and spices, and then it's mixed without the aid of heat, and it goes right from our grinder into cups.
Somewhere along the line, consumers began to see cold pack as something served only during the holidays. But cold pack manufacturers such as Pine River Pre-Pack are leading the way in changing consumers' perceptions and showing them how to enjoy and entertain with their award-winning spreadable cheeses year-round.
It goes on anything, just like regular cheese. You can put it on your baked potato, you can put it on a nice piece of bread, you can have it on great crackers, stuff mushrooms with it. Anywhere cheese can be used, you can use cheese spread.
Cold Pack is available in a wide variety of flavors, from the traditional Wisconsin favorites to new bold tastes, which is also helping to distinguish these spreads as a food that is enjoyed throughout the year.
We have 8 different flavors. Sharp is the most popular. People are familiar with just a nice cheesy flavor. Growing in popularity is spicy flavors. Jalapeno's good. Horseradish is an unbelievable seller.
Whatever your tastes may be, there's probably a spreadable cheese you'll enjoy. That's this week's Wisconsin Dairy News. A prevalent trend these days is consumers' desire to know more about where their food comes from and who's producing it. Nick Kirch, a dairy farmer in Barneveld, Wisconsin, understands this interest and wants to be sure his customers know exactly where their milk comes from.
I can look the consumer in the eye and say, this is my milk. I know the consumer, I know who gets my milk, and the consumer knows me as a farmer and the family where it comes from.
Nick purchased the family farm with his 2 young sons after his parents retired and decided to start something new. He now bottles sweet-flavored cream-line milk from his rotationally grazed cows right on the farm.
It gets that from the way we pasteurize, which is the small batches. We pasteurize at a lower temperature heat for a slightly longer period of time, and that brings out the sweeter flavor. Also, the cattle grazing on the fresh grass makes a big difference on the flavor of the milk.
Fresh farmstead milk from Blue Marble Family Farm is bottled several times each week in traditional glass bottles, which helps hold the flavor and keeps the milk colder. Land, farm, table serves as the foundation for what Nick and his family believe in and practice on the family farm.
It's something I am passionate about, I truly believe in, because I think that you get a better contact with the consumer and they can relate better to a one-family farm. And it's something to pass on to my children.
That's this week's Wisconsin Dairy News. Ice cream has long been one of America's favorite desserts. Increasingly, variations on this delectable dessert are available, like gelato, which is Italian in origin. This rich treat is made from milk, sugar, and other flavorings, and is similar to ice cream, yet has its own personality.
Gelato is different from American ice cream in that it's lower in butterfat. Our gelato is 6% butterfat. Compared to 10% or higher for American ice cream.
Gelato is also different because less air is added during production, which yields a more dense product. It's made fresh and served at a higher temperature than ice cream, which tends to provide more intense flavors.
The texture should be velvety smooth, melt in your mouth, dense, not ice cold, but cold and smooth as silk.
Gelato offers a variety of flavors, many of which may be new to Americans, such as basil or papaya. From coconut to wine-infused flavors, gelato's ingredients depend on popularity and seasonality. Finally, not only are the flavor and appearance different than those of traditional ice cream, gelato is served a little differently.
It's typically served in a little plastic cup with a little plastic shovel-shaped spoon.
That's this week's Wisconsin Dairy News.